Hello, Kid vs. Cat fans, and welcome to Talking Kid vs. Cat Episode 4. I'm your host, Mr. Demon Cat, and this is a podcast about all things Kid vs. Cat animated series related, where we deep dive into the bizarre, hilarious, and chaotic world of Coop Burtonburger and the evil alien cat trying to destroy his life by using his claws and his body. Today's episode is all about the adults, including Coop's dad, Bert, aged 18 and up, who tried to teach Coop at Bootsville Elementary School. His teachers! Now, we know that Coop spends most of his time battling Mr. Cat, getting blamed for things he didn't do, and trying to convince everyone that his feline nemesis is more than just a regular hairball. But in between all of that, he still has to deal with school. And that means dealing with his teachers, a set of colorful, often clueless characters that play a small but funny role in the show. So today we're going to break down who these teachers are, what we know about them, and how they reflect the wacky world of Kid vs. Cat. Let's start with the most well-known educator in Bootsville Elementary School. Let's talk about Mr. Lehrer, Coop's main teacher throughout the series. Mr. Lehrer is Mr. Cat's favorite victim. He is also the stereotypical tired and also slightly disinterested elementary school teacher who somehow has the unlucky fate of having both Coop and Dennis in his class, and Fiona when she's around, and appears in some Kid vs. Cat episodes. He's got this laid-back attitude, but you can tell the man is over it. Every time Coop Burtonburger gets caught up in some cat-induced chaos, whether it's an explosion, a creature attack, or some weird alien artifact that accidentally teleports the class somewhere, Mr. Lehrer always assumes Coop is the cause of the disaster. He rarely listens to Coop's side of the story, and just like the rest of Bootsville, he thinks Coop is, well, troubled. But in Lehler's defense, he's dealing with some next-level nonsense. Imagine trying to teach fractions while Cat's invisibility ray goes off in the background. Also worth noting, Mr. Lehrer is often used as comic relief. He's not cruel, just clueless. But that's kind of the running theme for most adults in the series, right? Maybe. I do not see Mr. Lehrer in the Kid vs. Cat cartoon series at the moment. I'm guessing Mr. Lehrer is a different teacher at Bootsville Elementary School. I might have to look it up online. Otherwise, I will move on to the next adult at Bootsville Elementary School I have not seen in Kid vs. Cat yet. Next up, we got the principal of Bootsville Elementary School, Principal Henry. We only see him in a few episodes, but every time he shows up, he's either giving Coop detention, yelling into a megaphone, or falling for Cat's tricks like everyone else. Principal Henry is kind of a background character, but his vibe screams strict old-school administrator. He's a guy who probably peaked in the 70s, and now rules the school with a clipboard and blind faith in the system. What's ironic is that Cat could literally be flying around in a mini UFO, which stands for Unidentified Flying Object. And Principal Henry would probably just write Coop Burtonburger up for disrupting class, or maybe hearing him yell or make noises at school. He's the perfect example of authority figures in Kid vs. Cat, blind to the real danger, but always ready to bring the hammer down on the wrong person. I also do not see Principal Henry in Kid vs. Cat at the moment yet, but I think I might have seen other characters less often in the show. With Mr. Cat sneaking into Coop Burtonburger's school without warning, yet the school still does not allow aliens, dogs, cats, or other animals to be inside. There are other teachers I also saw more often, as I resumed watching Kid vs. Cat on YouTube Premium commercial free. I'm going to do a task breakdown about Coop Burtonburger's nighttime and morning routine before having Coop go to school. I'll do Coop's nighttime routine first. What Coop does to prepare his time to go to school is Coop taking a shower, getting dressed in pajamas, setting reminders on his alarm clock, setting time to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, potentially making Coop get up early before 7 a.m., going to bed early at 8 p.m. before he wakes up in the morning, and also changing into his red and white striped shirt on, his blue pants on, and his brown shoes on. Next, I'm going to do Coop's morning routine. Coop hears his alarm clock go off at 6 a.m. in the morning. He also hears it make loud noises. Coop presses the snooze button to make the alarm clock stop playing. Coop changes into the same clothes I saw him wear in most Kid vs. Cat episodes, goes to the bathroom, looks at his mirror, and gets a toothbrush and toothpaste out of the shelves. Coop brushes his teeth for over 60 seconds before seeing his father Bert make him eggs and cereal for breakfast, and maybe make Coop peanut butter and jelly sandwich for a snack. Coop goes downstairs to the living room next to the kitchen, where Bert is making breakfast on the stove. After eating breakfast, Coop and Millie also walk to Bootsville Elementary School, if Bert does not take his children to that place in the car. After seeing those two kids walk, there's also other Kid vs. Kat characters going to school too. Coop also meets his teachers in the 1st to 6th grade school. He also says hello to whatever teacher I saw in Kid vs. Kat. And when you think of a 6th grade student like Coop and Dennis going to school by walking, their parents do not take them there in the car, but driving a car if a school is 10 minutes away or less from their house. A student could walk 10 minutes to get to school. Trust me, it's not really that hard. Okay, moving on to other teachers being featured in some Kid vs. Kat episodes I watched. This time I also saw a male teacher having children in class. Drum roll, please! It's Mr. Gerber from Kid vs. Kat! For those who do not know what Mr. Gerber is a male science teacher of Coop Burtonburger, Dennis Chan, and Lauren. Mr. Gerber also has his glasses on, his yellow short sleeves on, his brown shirt on, and his dark yellow pants on. Mr. Gerber also has his long brown hair on top of his head too. And his facial expressions look good in my opinion. He's played by Michael Dangerfield, also voicing him in the show. His first appearance in Kid vs. Kat is the episode Don't Give Me No Static. Mr. Gerber teaches science class of Coop, Dennis, and other children here. In the Don't Give Me No Static episode, Coop completed his small science project at home, but saw the gravity or electricity causing his small one to break into pieces. The electricity also caused Coop to redo his small science project over and over and over again in his room. The fishy frisky bits attracted Kat's weird machines without knowing what it does. Coop borrowed one of Kat's electric machines in the laundry room downstairs, next to the washer and dryer without asking. Although Kat only says meow to Coop, Kat went back to falling asleep in the laundry room downstairs. Coop took the electric machine that Kat made to Mr. Gerber's science class, not knowing when Mr. Gerber will give Coop a good grade. Coop showed someone else's electric machine to Mr. Gerber and his friends, and he explains to them about what it does. Mr. Gerber also watches Coop attract fishy frisky bits to the same machine I saw Coop bring. Mr. Kat realizes that the fishy frisky bits have left the laundry room and went to school. Mr. Kat also went to Coop's school and also met Mr. Gerber in science class. Mr. Gerber also realized that there's magnetic electricity happening in science class, partially having Mr. Gerber and other students get close to the Kat's food and electricity. Mr. Gerber also saw Kat eat his food at school, and wow! So this is getting a big, wild one that all the people in Mr. Gerber's science class caused. Oh my goodness gracious! Coop and Dennis also got out of Mr. Gerber's science class to go to another room. This time they also brought toilet paper or maybe some paper towels to science class. Coop and Dennis finally did what they needed to stop Kat at school. They also made Kat's electric machine stop working too. Just look at how many volts Kat's electric machine can power at Mr. Gerber's science class. 120 volts, 240 volts, 300, 400, 500, or even 666 volts. The cost of electricity that some Kid vs. Kat fans saw in the US increased from $3 billion to nearly $9 billion in total electricity bills. Getting back to Mr. Gerber, Mr. Gerber also ruined Coop Burtonburger's chances of getting an A+ at the end of science class. Well, now I feel bad for them being not so good at getting good grades. I think Coop Burtonburger went from being an A+ student to being an F student. The school bell rings, and all the children got out of Mr. Gerber's science classroom. I've been mentioning Mr. Gerber a lot, but now it's time for me to move on to another teacher I saw in Kid vs. Kat. This time it's a female teacher being with Coop. Section number 4, Miss Brannigan, Coop's second or third school teacher. This is Miss Brannigan. Miss Brannigan is Coop's female math teacher. She is also a young woman or an old woman who appears in Coop's elementary school. Miss Brannigan is played by Kathy Weasluck, who also voiced her. Miss Brannigan also has her gold, yellow hair on top of her head. She also has her short, white sleeves on, her dark pink or red shirt on, and her short pink pants on. She even has her long blonde hair tied back into a ponytail by a purple thing, possibly a hairband or a clip. Her pupils are light blue and facial freckles, which Fiona also has. Miss Brannigan first appeared in the Kid vs. Cat episode, Meow, Meow, Meow. She saw Coop Burtonburger being in her class in that episode, listening to what she said. Coop usually listens to Miss Brannigan, but what Coop also did in her class is, a koala on Coop's leg is doing the talking. Coop with a koala on his leg said,
"Why are you slouching? Sit up straight."
Oh my gosh, that's not Coop talking. It's the voice-generated koala telling Coop to do something he hasn't done at school. Miss Brannigan said,
Do you have something to say, Coop?
Well, answer the lady.
Maybe you should go to the principal's office.
Always listen to your teacher. Even when her incompetence forces her to pass the buck to a higher authority.
You have got to be serious right now. It's just the koala talking to Miss Brannigan, not Coop. Coop did not use his voice to talk to her. This boy's unreal.
One more word, young man, and you'll have a detention.
Why is he doing that? You've heard what Miss Brannigan's voice sounds like, but what does the koala's voice sound like? Probably in British United Kingdom accent voice I heard in Kid vs. Cat. Miss Brannigan was also annoyed with Coop and other boys and girls. She has not sent Coop to the principal's office yet, and she also saw other kids laugh and yell at the same time. She also gave other classmates detention due to their laughing behavior with Coop. But I do not know what else Miss Brannigan does yet. I know what I also saw. Miss Brannigan also gave Coop detention, writing something on the chalkboard 10,000 times. 10,000 times? That's too much for the kids to do. Coop's dad, Bert, also met Miss Brannigan after school. What they also did after school ended is Bert and Miss Brannigan going outside to go fishing in the boats. But that's not all, because I also saw them go on hot air balloon rides too. In another random Kid vs. Cat episode I watched, blah blah blah, upside up in the sky that's close to the clouds, etc. And even close to the tall mountains in the forest. In yet another Kid vs. Cat episode, Coop D. Tot, Miss Brannigan makes Old Lady Munson substitute for her for one day only today, during daytime hours. Old Lady Munson also met the same children that Miss Brannigan had earlier, only to have Miss Brannigan take a break from being in class. I also saw Old Lady Munson rage, and then throw school desks, chairs, some school supplies like crayons, scissors, glue, pencils, etc. This will easily get Old Lady Munson fired after one day, and also potentially have the sheriff department take her away for not being a good substitute teacher, thanks to the children making 911 emergency calls to respond to what an old woman did. Miss Brannigan returns to being in class with Coop, Dennis, and other classmates, following Old Lady Munson going to prison. Some random user commented on their thoughts on Miss Brannigan. I'll read what their thoughts on Miss Brannigan says. Tiana33 commented on my ranking Kid vs. Cat ships video, saying, I didn't know Bert and Henry was a thing. And what do you think about Bert and Miss Brannigan? Personally, I do not support this ship on the long term. My thoughts on Bert and Miss Brannigan, it's not bad. She also made her thought on Miss Brannigan saying, the only good thing about there not being a third season is that I didn't have to see Bert marrying Coop's teacher. I'm not really fond of her, but if they had just kept her as Coop's teacher, I would have been fine with it. But the fact that Bert started dating her felt a bit forced to me. In my fanfictions, she's Carl Dustin's mom. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see if I can do Carl Dustin being with Miss Brannigan in my next Kid vs. Cat comic strip page later on Critter, and later post it on Divine Art and Webtoon. For now, let's move on to other things that Coop listens to at school. I'm gonna do Coop's soccer or PE coach. I also do not have the woman's name for a PE coach yet, but I'll do it anyway. The female coach directs the soccer team that Coop is on in the Kid vs. Cat episodes Bent It Like Burtonburger, when just the first soccer team began in the city of Bootsville. She noticed that Coop was very good with the ball. The female coach is a short, fat woman with brown short hair. She wears a blue tracksuit, black trainer shoes, and carries a whistle around her neck. The fat female coach also made another appearance in another Kid vs. Kat episode, Me Coop, You Cat, when she also gives Coop the World Championship trophy before his speech to the Bootsville football team. The female coach also has even more soccer balls for the students to practice scoring goals into the net, as Coop Burtonburger also continues doing so well at not allowing other players to score more than 2. How come Coop did not let other players score? Only Coop scored the most so far, huh? Dennis also helped him stop Kat by winning soccer. I know some Kid vs. Kat viewers, including me, also watched not all, but some FIFA World Cup and Summer Olympic soccer games on television worldwide. After those games ended, I went back to seeing what other sports Coop is playing in person. The female coach could also get fired if she allows other opponents to win more games than Coop's soccer team. Fiona Munson has also not been with the female coach yet, but I know she's a young girl looking to become a young female soccer player. The female coach also directs the students back inside the locker room after the game, not knowing when those young players will keep winning. Okay, moving on to the invisible adults I've not seen in Kid vs. Kat. One of the big tropes in Kid vs. Kat is how little authority adults actually have, especially the school staff. You'll notice we do not get a huge cast of teachers with staff. In fact, sometimes they're just silhouettes or background voices. It's part of the show's theme. The adults are practically blind to the chaos around them. Coop could be melting the science lab trying to stop Kat's weapon, and the teacher would say, "That's another detention, Mr. Burtonburger." It adds to the comedy and to Coop's frustration. These teachers are not villains. They're just part of the world that refuses to believe him. It's both funny and kinda sad, right? Yes, but what about Coop Burtonburger, Dennis Chan, and Fiona Munson, and other young characters becoming high school students or college students? Almost a few years later, after the show's end, the same characters I saw at the end of Kid vs. Kat Season 2 earlier started going to high school after 2 years of being in middle school. Coop, Dennis, Fiona, and others began playing on their phones during snack and lunchtime outside. What they also did after their break time at school started is that they also began eating their own snacks and lunch. 2 boys and a girl began talking about what happened with Kat while on lunch break. After lunch ended, Coop, Dennis, and Fiona also began working on higher grade paperwork in high school and class. They no longer see Miss Brannigan or Mr. Gerber in elementary school. So later in the next future episodes of Kid vs. Kat, Fiona Munson takes her skateboard to high school, plus Coop Burtonburger and Dennis Chan take their dad's cars to high school. Or maybe they take the school bus to school. Once their day at high school ended, Coop, Dennis, and Fiona also went back home in the evening, around 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. They also now resume being on their phones all day for the rest of the day in the evening, calling and texting each other at home. Almost another few years later, Coop, Dennis, and Fiona graduated high school at the age of 18, as I began making my own text-only fan fictions. And they even got their own high school diploma too. The 3 high schoolers' senior year ended that night, as their parents also saw them get out of high school after 4 years. Coop, Dennis, and Fiona also began taking longer summer breaks, and later went back to being stuck at their homes. They even began making money at home by completing surveys, selling food and drinks for $2 or more, etc., unable to have Coop, Dennis, Fiona, or other aged-up characters pay $100 a month or more to go to college, as they also resumed making ways to earn more money by helping their moms and dads take the trash out, cleaning the dishes in the dishwasher, making their beds, cleaning up their rooms, organizing household items, and so much more. Coop, Dennis, and Fiona are also looking to become college athletes, as they also watch college football, basketball, and softball games live on television. So there you have it, a breakdown of Coop's schooling in Kid vs. Kat. It's clear that Coop's school life is just as chaotic as his home life. And really, that's what makes the show so unique. It's not just about aliens in action. It's about a kid trying to survive in a world that does not believe him. Not even the people who are supposed to help him. My name is Mr. Demon Cat, and I thank you for tuning into this episode of the Talking Kid vs. Cat podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to follow on Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, etc. You can also rate us and subscribe, turn notifications on, show your fellow cat haters out there. Got episode ideas or characters you want us to dive into? Hit me up on social. I love hearing from the fan base. Until next time, keep your eyes on the sky and your cat out of the garage.